All this to start up. Let's go. All right. What's going on, everybody? Hope your day is going well. While we wait for people to come hang out in the stream, I'm going to start up some music and make up my protein drink, because y'all always know I'm coming from the gym straight to the live stream. That's part of the reason why I'm so late today. But coming straight from the gym. So because we're coming straight from the gym, I got to take my post-workout protein drink. So yeah, let's pop up the chat, and I'm going to mix up a protein drink right quick. Hey, what's going on, comrade? Still awake, nerds? All right, for sure, comrade. I'm going to mix up my protein drink right quick, but hey, comrade, if you're feeling tired, go to sleep, man. Go to sleep. It's all good. You don't need to stay awake. Hey, what's up, Huss? What's up, Curry? Yeah, we're both, why did I say we're both? I'm gonna make my protein drink right quick, but what's going on, everybody? My holiday has now begun. All right, for sure, man. Let's go. I'm glad you're finally on a little bit of a break, PP. You get to rest and relax and recharge and hopefully not have to deal with a bunch of people other than your family that you don't want to deal with. So that's great. I know me, like, I don't know, whenever I'm in school, there's people I like enjoy going to school to see specific certain people. But then there's other people. And those other people at school are people that, you know what? I hate to say this, but I hate being around them. So I'm perfectly fine with taking days off even though it's great to be around the people I want to be around. It always feels great to not be around the people I don't want to be around. So, yep, holidays are here. Congrats, guys, to you over in the UK. You guys always have a different holiday schedule, but I'm glad you guys are finally on your holiday. Either way. Let's see. But after next week, all heck will be loose. Well, all heck will break loose, I think is the saying, because I got really important exams that will span from, I guess, starting next week till the 2nd of July. Ugh. That's, man, I hate tests. I hate tests. Like, you ask me to do work, I can do work. I can do work all day. I can work circles around people. But you ask me to take a test, my thing is like, with anything, I over-examine everything. So if I don't 100% know the answer, I'm gonna second guess myself. And between that and like anxiety and stuff, yeah, man, I just don't test well. I just don't. I know I don't. But if you ask me to work, if you teach me good enough to know what I'm doing and ask me to do work based on that knowledge, I'm gonna, like I said, I'll work circles around anybody. If you ask me to take a test, nah, man, it's just not my strong suit. That's just the way it is. All my final grades are B's. I'm the B best, like the bestest. All right, nice. No, B's aren't bad, man. I managed to graduate high school. I only had 2 C's in all of high school. One of the C's was in a class where she specifically said, basically, you're screwed. If you play sports, you won't study enough to get an A in my class. Basically what that meant is that she was a little biased towards anybody that played sports, and she didn't like you. And needless to say, basically, we were able to get enough evidence that the next year I was in her class, the very next year, she got fired. We had built a case good enough, and because we luckily had phones, we had recorded her saying enough incriminating evidence that she was fired from teaching in this area. So yeah, it was so that was one of my 2 C's in high school. The other C I got was in Latin too, and I mean, it's Latin, so what do you expect? But I ended up getting fairly good grades in all of high school. I think I ended up graduating with like a 3.6, so that was like cum laude or whatever, like with honors. But also I did take some honors classes, and honors classes are upscaled. So a B in an honors class is a 4.0 to your GPA, whereas a B in a regular class is a 3.0. That's, to those of you in Europe, you know, probably don't care about the American school system, but that's how the American school system works. What's going on, Angry Opinion? What's good? What's good? Nice. Anyways, my Epic Games is working, so maybe you guys want to play Among Us? Nah, I'm good, man. It's a Friday. I'm trying to chill. I don't want to play Among Us. I'm sorry. Like, Among Us is fun every once in a while, but I'm just not like the target demographic for Among Us and really enjoying it. But I'm gonna down my protein drink. You guys feel free to talk amongst yourselves for the next 10 seconds or so, or however long it takes me to down this. Oh man, I didn't mute my mic that time, so hopefully that wasn't too gross sounding. But I was just trying to down it. I wasn't really worried about muting the mic. Crazy story. I made a Reddit post yesterday in the subreddit for getting better. Getting better, that even though I have as much time / games played, I never get matches where 20 kills and 4K damage even seems possible. Yeah, I would agree with that. Most of the time, skill based. So here's the thing. I haven't read your second comment yet. And I'm sorry for that, but I haven't read your second comment yet. But I want to say this: the reason why most people get 4K damage and 20 bombs is because the skill-based matchmaking didn't work. If you're playing, just looking at how many people join a game and how much damage there is per fight, if you're properly skill-based matchmaking, if they match you up properly to people that are close to your skill level, that's not gonna, like you're saying, it's not gonna be possible. The only time you're gonna get a 4K and a 20 bomb is when you're matched with people that are below your skill level, or if you see, here's the problem. Skill-based matchmaking, the way it works in Apex Legends, is you're always brought up to the skill level of the highest skilled player, what Apex deems to be the highest skilled player in the party of 3. And what I was going to say is sometimes if you have the right teammates, your teammates can carry you to a 20 bomb or a 4K. They can help you. They can, basically what they can do is they can soften up every target and say, hang back with a sniper and finish all the kills and we'll get you a 20 bomb. It's possible. But again, the problem is that you basically all have to be on the exact same skill level, or they're going to be taking you into a lobby that's way better than you. So yeah, I would agree. Here's the other thing you can do. The other thing you can do is you can go online and pay people, and people will log on to your account and get you a 20 bomb and a 4K. So 20 bomb and 4K badges are cool and all, but they're really not like that big of a deal for you to really chase after. I've only ever gotten close once, and that was to the 4K. I've never been close to a 20 bomb. I think my highest kills is like 13. But the closest I've ever been to a 4K damage game was, I think I got like a 3 point something, but it was like, it was enough to get the 3K badge and well over it, but it wasn't quite there to a 4K. So like I said, if you get a 4K badge or a 20 bomb, the skill-based matchmaking failed. That's kind of the way I've always looked at it. That night I had the best night. Oh, okay. So you made a post on a subreddit complaining about it, and then that night was the best night I had ever had. More 2.5K damage games than I have had in the last 2 seasons combined, and I got a 3.6K damage game. Nice. Yeah. So like the damage games is, I feel like the 4K damage badge is way easier to get than a 20 bomb. Like I said, I've been close like 3 or 4 times to a 4K. Never gotten one, but I've been close to a 4K several times. Versus a 20 bomb, I've never been close to a 20 bomb. Like ever. So I don't know. I feel like the difference in skill level between those two badges is way different. But anyways, it's weird how you study Latin in this time. What? It's weird how you study Latin in this time. Studied? What? I don't know what you mean. Yeah, I did study Latin in high school. The only reason, so I got a B in Latin 1 and a C in Latin 2. The only reason, so here's the thing. I was the only person I know of that made a B in Latin. Everyone else that I know in Latin 1 specifically, Everyone else that I knew that took Latin with me either got a C, got an A, a C, or an F. Everyone else got an A, a C, or an F. I was the only person I knew that got a B. So that was weird. And then Latin 2, I was one of those C students. So, but most of the people that took Latin 1 and got a C or an F did not take Latin 2. They were discouraged from taking Latin 2. Basically, they said, if you didn't get an A in Latin 1, don't take Latin 2. I took it anyways, managed to get away with a C. But the only reason why I did good in Latin at all is because a large part of your grade was... So there were like 3 categories. There were like translation, history, and like culture, which is kind of the same thing as history. And so 2 parts of my grade were basically based on history, and I liked history. So, and especially Greek and Latin culture. So yeah, it was pretty easy to do decent. So basically I just failed all the translation and aced all the history stuff and came out with a C. So yeah, that's so yeah, I did study Latin, but it doesn't really translate into anything, because the problem is that you can translate Latin, but you can't speak true Latin. Like, I wasn't learning church Latin. Like, there's the Catholic Church. Hello, yes, you want attention? I know. Hey, there's church Latin, which what, you don't want to be on the shoulder right now? Sorry, cats are funny. So there's church Latin, like the Catholic Church speaks Latin, but they speak church Latin. It's not like traditional actual Latin. Like, if you were going to translate Latin from like actual real Latin, it doesn't come across anything close to like Catholic Latin now. Well, not anything close. It comes close, but it's not the same thing. So basically you can't speak real Latin because we don't know what it sounded like. And so, yeah, it basically your work is only translation. You don't have to be able to speak. Sorry, there's cat hair floating in front of my face. But yeah, so you don't have to speak it. You pretty much just have to be able to translate it. And that's what I sucked at. So yeah, Among Us, Among Us, Among OS. Yeah. Among IO. So that way it's a browser-based game. It was a little frustrating with my decisions. I was a little frustrated with my decisions. I broke the last player and she downed me. I told my teammates I broke them without thinking to tell them to just pick me up, so I could have gotten the 4K. Yeah, that's the way it goes a lot of the times, is like, if you're close enough, you're like, oh man, if I could have just farmed like 2 more shots with a sniper rifle, I could have been there. Because like a freaking Kraber does 145 and a Sentinel does 112 to the head. So yeah, like, yeah, no, I feel you, man. If we just let her heal, yeah. I mean, the problem is that now it's easier. So all my best games were before they added. So now there's a little damage tracker up in the corner. That used to not be there. So you didn't know when you were you knew you were having a good game, but you didn't know how close you were to 4K. Now you can know that, but if I ever have a good game, I'm gonna try and pay attention to that little indicator and see if I'm anywhere close. Basically, if I ever have a game, not ever, because it'll probably happen at some point in the future, but when in the future I have a game that I'm close to 3K and there's still a decent amount of people left, I'm gonna try and ask my teammates to help me farm a 4K. But you know, I've got to have the right conditions be met first before I try and like push for it, you know? Anywho, Among Us. So a girl who knows me and is kind of, oh geez, chat's jumped there. And is kind of a friend asked me out, then she walked away at the end. So what should I do? Well, what did you, that's not enough information. What did you say when she asked you out? I've got to know what you said first. Did you just say, let me think about it? Like, why'd she walk away? Did you just stand there? Did you freeze? Like, we need more information, Huss. I legit tried to ask a girl I liked out, but I legit couldn't get it out of my mouth. The lesson ended, The lesson ended and she walked off, but I could swear I heard her whisper to me that she loved me, or I was just deluded. Yeah, it would be, here's the thing. If someone that you don't know, somebody that's not your family, says they love you, that quickly, that's a red flag. So hopefully she didn't say that. And if she did say that, yeah, you probably want to go for a different girl, PP. Just saying. Just saying. But yeah, as far as asking girls out, here's the thing I've learned that makes it way easier to approach girls and ask girls out. This isn't advice, but this is what I do. So one of the things I did is it's always hard for me to ask a girl out. So the thing I've done is find something or try and think of something that would be decently, how do I put this? Like something that they could actually talk about. So for instance, I'm getting ready to go to this pool party. So what I do is I would approach a girl and say, hey, I'm going to a pool party and I was told to bring some people along. Would you like to go? They might say yes or no. If they say yes, then what you do is you say, oh, well, seeing as how you'd like to go, give me your phone number and I'll text you the address. Now you have a window to their phone number, and then you can try and get to know them more. And the more you get to know them, the more they become somebody you like, you know, actually know things about, the easier it's going to be to talk to them. The more you talk to them, the easier it's going to be to ask them out. So you start small and you get to something that hopefully ends in a relationship. So just an idea, maybe find something like that, that you want to do. So yesterday I tried Huss. Do you like her? No, I just stood there looking at her. Oh, geez. That's one of the worst things you can do, is to freeze. I'm PP saying LOL. No, I get it. I get why you'd freeze, but yeah, man, that, 1 second. Let me read what PP said here, and then I'll try and talk about what I think you might want to do because you froze. LOL, I froze and thought to myself I was delusional on the spot. Then contemplated them would be weird. 5 minutes later. So when I get back, should I say yes or no? She's kind of pretty and I do like her, but I have no idea what to do. So what I would do personally in this situation is say, so here's the thing. Flirting will not always work, but will work better. So if you you froze. Because you froze, she might think you don't like her. And because she thinks you might not like her, over the course of this break, she might try and move on. So you might have to reel her back in and get her to like you again. So what you might want to do is you might want to, whenever you get the courage to go up and talk to her again, is just say, sorry, I kind of froze. Like, just point it out, because I mean, she knows you froze. You know you froze. Just bring it up. Just say, hey, sorry I froze. I like you, and I wasn't expecting you to come up and say that, or something along these lines. You know, spice it up with your own touch. But basically, just be like, I like you, and I didn't expect that. I didn't know what to do, and basically trying to flirt and basically say, oh, I find you attractive. You caught me off guard, basically. And just point it up and talk about it. And then hopefully you two can both laugh about it and then try and move the conversation on from there. But yeah, just bring it up and just like basically say, you're so cute, you threw me off. Something along that, like, but you might have to reel her back in. Again, though, saying that, just keep in mind that, like I said, because you froze, she might not think you were attracted to her. And because she might not think you were attracted to her, by the time you get back to school and she comes back to school and you guys get to see each other again, she might have moved on. You never know. It is entirely possible. You might have missed your opportunity, but use that motivation of that slight anxiety you might be feeling of, oh snap, I lost the opportunity. Use that to motivate yourself to actually go up and talk to her when you get the chance again. But just an idea. I don't know. You have to do you, but that's the way I'd feel about it. Okay, so go for it, Huss. I don't even know myself, but it but it's way better to get it off your chest rather than having to regret it the rest of your life, probably. Asking a girl out in school is not going to be one of those things you regret for the rest of your life. You'll believe me, once you have a really good relationship, I've asked out a lot of girls, and I have had a lot of relationships. Whenever you have a real relationship as you start to get older, you won't remember. Like, I know I've asked out a lot of girls because I was going for that in high school. I was like cold approaching and doing all these things. I was trying to do that. So I know I asked out a lot of girls, but I have no idea how many. I have no idea who half of them were. I actually the other day approached somebody and they say they knew me from high school because I had approached them in high school to try and date them. So it's, it's one of those things that once you have a real relationship, you'll completely forget about all the times you approached somebody and got embarrassed, because you are prone to get embarrassed. It's just the way it goes. All right, Curry, thanks. I should wait. Wait, what? All right, Curry, thanks. I should. What about you, Klepper? Oh, all right, Curry, thanks. I should. Curry thinks I should. Got it. Sorry, my brain does not work sometimes. But Curry thinks I should. What about you, Klepper? I think I covered what I think about it, is that you should, but keep in mind she might have moved on. Or not yet, but like over the course of this break, she might move on. I'm so dumb. My attempt yesterday was too stealthy to see if she really likes me or not. And now that I didn't make an attempt to finish my finish lines because I froze, I gotta be direct next time now. So here's the thing, PP. Most females are way less direct than men. So you might think you were indirect, but she might have just picked up on something that you didn't mean to have come across, or she did pick up on it and something like, girls read into things way more than you think. So she probably did know that you were trying to make an attempt at having a conversation and trying to date her. So she probably does know, just saying. But yeah, also for your sake, I know this as me as a dude, for my sake, almost every relationship I have to say, listen, I'm a dude. I know I'm an idiot. I can be oblivious sometimes. If there is something that is really important, please just come out and try at least to come out and just be as, straightforward and blatant about it as you can. Like, because, sometimes they'll do like passive aggressive things because they want you to notice something. That's great and all, but it's not as conducive to having a successful relationship. At least for me, it hasn't been in the past. So yeah, females do tend to do less direct things normally, at least for the people in the US and my dating experience. But anyways, I have her number so I can do it over the phone. You don't want to do it over the phone necessarily. So because you have her phone number, that makes it way more difficult, because the problem is that you don't want to ask her out over the phone. You definitely don't. You want to do it in person. Because doing it over the phone, if you feel like you need to do it over the phone, if you feel like you're not going to be able to approach her in person and say the things that you want to say, and you feel like you have to use the phone's going to be less likely to be successful. But if it ultimately gets your message across where you wouldn't get it across any other way, then go for it. But the problem is with the phone is that, like, it's just not being as direct tends to make it not as successful. And you also run into a problem of, I would say try and ask her to hang out and then say these things in person. Tell her how you feel in person. The problem is that she might not be very likely, because like I said, she might think you don't like her. She might not be prone to wanting to hang out. So what I would do, possibly, if you want to try and get to her before the break is over, maybe try and organize a thing with your friend group. Like, I'm going to that pool party, and maybe try and invite her to hang out with a bunch of people, and then you can take her to the side and talk to her. But like, or get somebody else to invite her to something you're going to. But I wouldn't just straight up say like, hey, do you want to hang out and talk, or like, you know, I don't know. Being direct. So like I said, men tend to be very direct and women tend to be very indirect, at least again in my experience with dating. So you being direct can sometimes scare them off because they're indirect, so they want you to sometimes be not as like. Being direct and straightforward with a female sometimes can scare them away because it seems intimidating to them sometimes. So yeah, I don't know. I try and basically I try and be stealthy about it. Try and weasel your way into hanging out with her without just straight up asking to hang out with her. Don't stalk her or anything or do anything creepy, but you know what I mean. Just try and find a way to hang out. That might be a good idea, to try and hang out before a week passes, or 2 weeks, however long your guys' break is. Curry, if you think she likes you, just take the chance and ask her out. Well, I have mine added on Snapchat and Insta, but like, don't you ever get the fear it might be screenshotted or whatever? I'd rather do it in person, to be honest. So doing it in person, that is a very good reason to do it in person. A very good reason to do it in person is because then there's no screenshots or, you know, cringy evidence of the cringe that happened if it goes down that path. But the other reason why I like doing it in person is because most people don't have the courage to do it in person. So it automatically, straight off the bat, makes you stand out. Because they're like, oh, this guy actually wants to talk to me and doesn't want to just text me. But it also helps that I have dyslexia and ADHD, so I'm not good at texting people. So I'm not going to try and start a relationship through texting. I'm going to try and talk to you in person and tell you that, you know, straight up, it's not going to be a good relationship if we're not talking. I can't do it well through the phone, so we need to actually spend time together and, you know, talk. So yeah. So the cringe factor could be a good reason not to text something that might be embarrassing or cringe inducing in the future. But anyways, I'll try and think of another stealthy way. All right. And if I can't, well, I'm all in, boys, after this holiday. All right, for sure. So after the stream, should I ask her out? I think I already covered that with what I was saying a few seconds ago. Husk, gain some courage. First, plan what you want to say, then execute what you want to do. I wouldn't say plan what you want to say, because planning what you want to say could come across robotic. If you're almost rehearsing lines in your brain and then you just recite the lines, it's going to come across robotic. What I would do is really plan out your intention and the message you want to convey. Basically, like, you want to convey the fact that you think she's attractive and you were caught off guard. Those are the two things you basically want to get across, and you want to get across the fact that you want to pursue a relationship with her. Those are the three things. Planning out exactly what you're going to say to get those messages across, again, could come across robotic. So I basically just I'm not saying wing it, but at the same time, winging it more so than planning it out will come across more emotional and more vulnerable, which is going to usually be more attractive. Again, all these things I'm saying could go out the window. If, for instance, if you're trying to date a goth girl, sometimes that vulnerability, I can't say that word. Being vulnerable with a goth girl, depending on what's going on, sometimes they want you to be the hard, steady rock foundation that they can rely on, and then sometimes they want you to be able to be emotional. But you know what I'm saying? You really got to know this person. If you know this person decently enough, then you probably already know the types of things you need to say to get her to at least consider having a relationship with you. I need to drink some water. I've been talking a lot. All right. But if you ever get a girlfriend, I legit wouldn't know what to do after, LOL. If I Wait, you've never had a girlfriend, PP? You've never had a girlfriend? What? I mean, not to get into too much detail, but so think about it this way. Here's what you do. If you don't know, here's what you should probably do once you get a girlfriend. You should probably, so you know a guy, you meet a dude, right? First day of school, you meet a dude, you think he's pretty cool, you want to start hanging out with him. How do you establish a friendship with that dude? You talk about things you like, you figure out your mutual interests, and you hang out doing the things you enjoy, that you both enjoy. It's how you establish a friendship. I would establish a relationship the same way. Find out the things you both enjoy, you know. It's like, I don't know. Once you've had a bunch of relationships, it kind of just flows. I've never really had to think about what I do to like have a successful relationship. But like with females, talking is key. It really is. Just talking, communicating. You basically want to know. You want her to know everything about you, and she wants to know everything. You want to know everything about her, and she wants to know everything about you. Problem is that at your guys' age, really not that much has happened in your life. Everybody goes to school. So what I would do is point out the interesting things, the weird things, the things that are out of the ordinary for her group of friends versus your group of friends, stuff like that. Don't make stuff up, don't lie, but, you know, point out the interesting things, the weird things, and you know, talk about it, think about things. That's kind of what I would say is, basically, you want to treat it, you like her, she's really attractive, and you get nervous around her. You still want to treat her as if she's one of the boys, not like that standoffish, but almost like she's one of the boys. You're trying to make her your friend. You've started a relationship. You want to make that relationship almost a friendship. Not too much because you don't want to friend zone yourself and have her break up with you, but you want to establish a friendship that you then can do things that you would not do with, you know, people of your own gender unless that's what you're into. So, yeah. Anyways, I do see your comment, comrade. Sorry, I'm just way far behind because, you know, this is what today turned into. Oh, man. I guess if we're going to be talking this much, I really should do this, right? We should do that, right? All right. Yeah, I would say do it in person, e.g. if you sit next to her in class or like just go up to her at like break. Yeah, I mean, I would do it in person, but like I said, if you could find a way to like stealthily get a meeting with her during this break, I would go for that. Well, I can meet up with her and ask her out if that can work. Yeah, all right. So ask a mate to have a party and then ask her out at the party. Yeah, I mean, if that is doable, that's definitely like if you have friends that are friends with her friends and you guys can have a big party together and you know she's going to be there, that's when I would go for it. Now, again, I don't really know your guys' ages because I don't really remember those things. I'm really bad about names and ages. But I'm assuming you're not going to have any substances there that would make asking people out easier because I can tell you this, once you get old enough to where you're drinking alcohol, they call it liquid courage for a reason. It makes it way easier. Not encouraging you to drink, not encouraging anything. I don't drink myself, but yeah, I mean, parties are just an easy situation. If you start out asking people out at parties when you're sober, whenever you do get old enough to participate in those substances, it's going to be super easy for you to just ask out all types of people because you're used to doing it. Now you're adding on top of it liquid courage. You're good. So yeah, just an idea. That's what I'm trying. Wait, that's what I'm trying to be indirect and stealthy. Yeah, stealthy is a decent way to go, but sometimes, like, again, as a dude, at least for me personally, I have like I think there's a spider in this house because I keep feeling like a spider web in different places, like on my ears and on my head. Sometimes I'll feel like a spider web. So if you guys see a spider on my face, definitely point it out. Nah, I mean, I doubt it would be on my face. But yeah, sometimes being stealthy is good, but at the same time, after months of being stealthy and flirty, sometimes it is good to like be direct and say, hey, we've been flirting for a month. Do you just want to go out? Sometimes just being direct like that, again, can come across, you know, a little too direct and a little, you know, intimidating, but sometimes you gotta do that as well. Unless it's just you two hanging out, then maybe you can be direct. Then you get the bragging rights of having I don't think I can say that word because it's a phrase from a video game, but having cojones, I think, is the other term for that. But that word of steel is kind of what is the phraseology PP used there. By asking someone out straight up. But if you're trying to be direct, try and make it like private. That's why you pull her aside at a party. You don't like go up to her and all her friends and just like ask her out. That you definitely don't. 100,000% do not do that. Do not ask her out in front of her friends. Do not do that. Take her to the side and ask her out. Because here's the thing. The reason why you don't ask her out in front of her friends is because even if she wants to go out with you, which she does because she asked you out, even if she wants to go out with you, her friends are probably going to judge her. Not all of her friends are going to like you. And some of her friends are not going to like you to the extent they're going to try and sabotage that relationship. It's just the way it goes. So if she knows she has one of those friends in her company when you ask her out, if she has one of those friends in her company that she knows is going to judge her, she's going to be likely to say no. So take her aside. Do not ask her out in front of her friends. Do not do that. 100,000% do not do that. And again, I don't know any, like, I'm not like a dating coach. I'm not like a sociologist. I'm just saying from my personal past experience, don't do that. In private or just both, comfortable. I don't recite my lines. I want to gain an idea of each thing I want to say. That's what I mean. Okay. I think she still has hope for us to go into a relationship. So the quicker I ask her out, the more likely she will say yes. Usually, yeah. I mean, again, speed is a good idea. It's a good idea to have speed when it comes to the asking this girl out. But yeah, you probably, yeah, you want to ask her out as soon as possible, but at the same time, if you just straight up ask her out over the phone, she's also more likely to say no, for various different reasons. But you want to do it in person, but you don't want to try and get a situation to do it in person too forcefully, because that also might scare her away. I don't know. Fight each other for dominance. Nah, friendly competition. This was one of those things I was reading about how, women tend to get very catty at each other, and they tend to have infighting a lot. And it was one of these things about like sociology of why don't men do that? Yet also, so women tend to not like each other and fight a lot, infighting between female friends, but at the same time tend to be more likely to be bisexual, and men tend to not have a whole lot of infighting, but also tend to be less likely to be, they're either gay or they're straight. There's less, men tend to statistically be less bisexual, whereas women tend to be more bisexual. And one of the things they were saying was basically that it probably has something to do with hunting. Back whenever we were still like becoming the humans we are today, the idea was that men, you competed for dominance, but at the same time, I want to be better than you, but I don't want you to die, because now that I know I'm better than you, keeping you around makes me look better. So you want that friendly competition. You want to be better. You want to compete and be better, but at the same time, it's friendly because you don't want the guy to die. You you want to have the biggest kill, but you still want him to be able to bring in food to his family and stay around too. Whereas females, because the pregnancy takes so long, the idea was that because pregnancy takes so long, that they're trying to keep that man around. They're trying to keep the protector, the provider, because that's the way it worked back then. They're trying to keep the man around. And so any other woman is possibly a threat, because an act of disloyalty from your man can take anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour, and then now his resources are divided between the two of you. So it's like, so you're really trying to, you're friendly with the women. Also, the idea was that the reason why bisexuality tended to be a thing was something along the lines of basically because there was a lot of the men are out hunting, so all the women had to work together to raise children, and they're already in that like loving child rearing mindset. So that was kind of the idea, is that other women are competition, so that's why they tend to fight more, but also because you're already in that like environment, that love interest tends to happen. So yeah, that was just kind of the idea. I don't know why I got on that rant, but basically men and women are different, and don't ask her out in front of her friends. I think that's why I went down that trail. Don't ask her out in front of her friends. Don't do that. We are pretty close, so I think she is a really good person, and I definitely should ask her out. Here's the other idea. You said you're really close. I don't even know if you mean geographically or if you're just good friends, because I was going to say, if she lives close by you, like within walking distance, I mean, you could always try that too. That's a little bit, again, that might be a little too direct, but at the same time, like if she's within walking distance, you could just say, hey, I was walking through the neighborhood. I was thinking about what you said the other day, and I needed to come over here and ask you out. Like something along those lines. Like if she's within walking distance, if you have to drive like 20 minutes to her house, and obviously that's not going to work. But like, if she's close by geographically, then maybe consider that. I have a personality in which, one, I run out of things to say. I am legit quiet for a long time on the spot, which would be weird. You have to, so two things I would say about that, PP. As you get older and you have more lived experiences, you'll have plenty of things to talk about, trust me. Not only will you have plenty of things to talk about, but as you get older, and I'm not saying you're not confident, but as you get more confident in yourself, sometimes silence between you and the person you're dating, like being able to just sit there and appreciate each other's time and company, and just like, sometimes that is a good thing to also have in a relationship. So as long as, because here's the thing, that might be possible for you, but if you feel awkward about the silence, then you're not really bonding during those times of silence and just enjoying being in each other's company. So both of those things that you're worried about, not having enough to talk about and awkward silence, both of those things, as you get older, trust me, you'll get over that. It'll be easy to get over that. Yeah, and since you find her attractive, all the more reason to be able to get it off your chest as well, so you don't regret it for a long time. I mean, there's not much to regret. A missed opportunity is a missed opportunity, but you don't want to, like, I wouldn't want to leave it on that note. Like, if you ask her out again and she says no, like if you ask her out because she asked you out, if you ask her out, that her saying no is better in my opinion, is better than just not doing anything about it. Like, at least, because she put out the effort. If she put out the effort and you just let it go, versus if you put in the effort and then she says no, at least you tried. That's kind of my mindset, is at least you tried. So, oh yeah, I don't know if the camera thing did work. All right, sweet. I had to just check that right quick. It's either meet up with her alone and just ask her, or ask her out in a party. I think asking her to hang out is, like, if you just went up to her door, like you live close enough, I think that would be better. Or going to a party that she's going to be at and then asking her out at the party. I think those are probably two easier situations. Or here's another idea. Again, don't be a stalker, but if you know she likes to hang out at, say, a mall all the time, maybe you just go hang out at the mall and you stumble across her one day and say, oh, hey, use that as your opportunity. Again, though, if they're hanging out at the mall, a lot of times girls in America like to hang out at the mall with their friends. Don't ask her out in front of her friends. I'd go for alone. Yeah. She is kind of shy, which is why I think it's kind of cute. So I should ask her out alone, so she's not nervous. Yeah, 100%. Yes. Klepper behind you. That's a big spider. WTF? Yeah, nah. It's all good. On your wall. Yeah. All right. I think I'm gonna make a decision to ask her out alone today. She lives not that far from me. All right. Cat killed it. Yep. Cat walked down that thing like it's birthday. Huh? I don't know what you mean. I don't even know where the cat is anymore. But yeah, she likes to run up and down that thing every once in a while. Be right back. Give me 2 minutes. Yeah, on the phone, there's always a screenshot option which can influence the response. So, asking people through the phone, you not only have the chance of her screenshotting, the other thing is that when you ask somebody, I mean, think about it this way. Whenever you text your friend, you register that it's your friend, but at the same time, your texting conversations, at least for me, are never going to be the same as a real conversation with somebody. So if you can get, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, a texting conversation isn't going to be as good. It just never, to me, it never is. And then you also have the fact of that whenever she's looking at a text message that says, hey, I like you, she knows it's from you, but like it doesn't seem as direct. And then you also have the fact of that if she's looking to date people through her phone, and she's like she's comparing you to people on Instagram because maybe she was just looking at Instagram. You get what I'm saying? Like, so she's less likely to like, she's more likely to judge you harshly because she's more likely to have just seen, that super attractive, famous boy that she likes. You know what I'm saying? Versus if you ask her out in person, she's going to be relating you asking her out to who you are and the things she knows about you. And usually when you're in a conversation with somebody in person, they're not thinking about Instagram that they were scrolling through an hour ago. Versus, like I said, if you're texting her, she could have just been scrolling through Instagram. And so now she's thinking about the famous boy she likes and comparing you to him, which isn't really fair. And, so yeah, person all the time. Always ask somebody out in person. Don't ask people. It's the same thing as breaking up. You want to ask somebody out in person and you want to break up with somebody in person. Don't do it through the phone. Never use the phone. The phone is the bane of your existence when it comes to dating. Always try and talk it out in person. Unless it's a violent situation, like if she's hurting you, obviously then, get away from that situation. But, yeah, doing it on the phone is not a good option. Welcome back. Huss, have you ever hung out with her before and where? I've hung out with her just casually walking with her and talking. Yeah, I mean, that's, good way to have conversation. Just walking around and talking. It's a good thing. Like on your way home from school, yeah, and sometimes after. Okay, nice. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you've got chemistry and you guys enjoy each other's company. I mean, you might as well date. I'm not going to go through... So I went through, again, I think you should try and almost create a friendship out of the relationship first. I went through that part, but I'm not going to go into detail on what you should do as far as physical actions, but a mutual understanding of your experience when it comes to physical actions that are often common between people that are trying to foster a relationship. Trying to say this as uncancelable as I can without YouTube, deleting my stuff. Basically, without getting into too much detail, coming to a mutual understanding of each other's experience level when it comes to physical actions is usually a good thing to establish first. you don't want to talk too much about it. There is a level of romance that you want to discover things. You want to feel it out. You don't want to just talk about it. But if she has way more experience than you, or you have way more experience than her, sometimes that can lead to problems. I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to get canceled on YouTube. But establishing a good communication and an ability to know, hey, where each other's at, it's usually a good step. Anyways, maybe you should text her saying if she wants to hang out with you to a close by park, or tell her you want to tell her something. I mean, I wouldn't say you want to tell her something. So maybe not a party, but if there is like a park near where you live and maybe you have some friends that are going to hang out, maybe you could say, hey, me and all the friends are going to go throw a Frisbee around the park. Would you like to come out and hang out with us? And then especially like if you're with your friends seeing her there, your friends are going to, so when I said don't ask her out in front of her friends, asking her out in front of your friends, two things are going to happen. Usually they're going to psych you up and you're going to be more likely to go through with it, because if you don't go through with it, then they're going to dog on you for it. The other problem though you do run into is if you ask her out and she says no, then your friends are going to dog you for it. But that's just part of how it goes. But sometimes having your friends around in a place where you're already comfortable, and if she's willing to come to you in that place where you're already comfortable, it's way easier to ask her out. Is basically what I was saying. So, but yeah, maybe that is a good idea too. If you can't get one of your friends to have like a party, maybe having a get together that you plan yourself and then trying to get her to show up would be an idea. But again, talking about it is one thing. You still got to do it. So, just keeping that in mind. Since it's the holidays, well, I kind of want to do it today, and I think I will go out with her walking, and then I'll ask her out while we are talking. Yeah, maybe, I mean, you said she lives close by and that you walk home from school with her. Maybe you do just like stop by her place and say, hey, I want to talk. Like trying, like say, hey, can we like go for a walk and talk? If she lives close enough by where you could realistically walk over there, then yeah, I'd go for that. See, I'm used to living in America where everything's spread out. There was nobody within walking distance that I would want to date. So yeah, I mean, that's what I'm used to. But if she's within walking distance, for sure, man. Yeah, I'd go over there and just say, hey, can we go walk around the block and talk? Maybe that would be a good idea. But yeah. So, I don't know though. She could be embarrassed. You know enough about her. So, do you think that she would be too embarrassed to come out and talk to you? Like, or do you think that she wouldn't be embarrassed and she would actually want to talk about it? I don't know, man. Again, there's only so much you can say, like in the not advice, but the kind of advice territory before it comes into like, her, you should know a decent amount about what she's going to be thinking, hopefully, to know when you should ask her out. If you think you should ask her out today, then I'd go for it, man. If that's what you think, but anyways, and it should give you a hint if she's into you, if she accepts, and when you're there, you can tell her how you feel about it, and yeah. But yeah, I mean, basically. Yeah, maybe call a close friend that won't snake you. Maybe like your best friend. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if he's within walking distance, I wouldn't even try and have like that party or have a get together with your friends. If she's within walking distance, I'd just go knock on her door and say, hey, I wasn't expecting that. Can we talk? And can we go for a walk and talk? That's what I would do, is I'd just go, because when you're walking too, when you're doing something, you're going to be more likely to say how you feel because you're not distracted by overthinking everything. You're in the midst of walking around and looking around your surroundings, ideally, and being situationally aware. But yeah, I'd go for a walk and have a conversation with her about it. My mates would probably make her uncomfortable, and that would make her say no, probably. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if she's within walking distance, I'd go for a walk. Definitely, 100% go for a walk. Then do it alone if you want to ask her out today. She would want to talk about it alone rather than friends walking with her and pursuing her. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying go with your friends to walk with her. I'm saying like the stream, we're at an hour, so I'm getting close to ending the stream. Actually, I forgot, you guys are like 5 hours ahead, so it's 9 o'clock at night. But if you feel comfortable walking around at night in the city in which you live, don't do anything dangerous, but I mean, I'd go out for a walk if her parents will let her. And you know, I'd try and do that for sure. And not a walk with your friends, just go walk with her. Like the same way you would walk home from school with just her and not her group of friends and not your group of friends. I'd try and do that. Go talk to her. Then do it alone if you want to ask her out. She would want to talk alone. But it's pretty late. It's 9, LOL. Yeah, I was going to say, I just realized it is pretty late. Yeah, but I usually go out for a walk around 9:20. If you're already going out for a walk, then yeah, man. Huss, you're already going out for a walk anyways. Go talk to her. If you're already going out for a walk normally, then yeah, go walk by her place and knock on her door, see if her parents will let her go for a walk and talk to her. I mean, I was saying maybe you go for a walk just specifically to talk to her, but if you already go out and walk around anyways at around this time, there's no reason not to. You're already doing something you're going to do anyways, just walk her direction and try and get her to walk with you. Like, I don't know, man. I wish I do, though. Okay, well, let me read these last 2 comments from PP right quick. OPK, if her parents allow her to go out at this time. Yeah, that's the other big part to it. But even if her parents don't, maybe you could just, sit on her front doorstep or whatever and talk with her. You probably want to keep your voices low because her parents are probably going to try and listen in on the conversation. But ultimately what it comes down to is, Huss, I'm going to get off of here, and Huss, go ask her out. You got this, man. I believe in you. You got this. Get that relationship that you know you want and she wants. Anyways, all right then. I guess I'll go do it. I'll tell you what she says today or tomorrow. Feel free, although today is Friday, so I will not be streaming again till Monday, but there's always Discord. So, good luck. All right. I will see you guys. Huss, before you chicken out, don't chicken out. You got this. I'll see you guys tomorrow, or not tomorrow. I'll see you guys Monday. Have a good rest of your weekend. Good luck, Huss. I'll see you guys around. Peace.